Good morning, Flosstube. It is Sunday the 2nd of June 2024. I'm Sarah and I'm delighted to be here with you this morning. It's a lovely sunny morning, which is nice because it's been overcast and grey and miserable all week, but very clammy as well. So it's been an odd kind of weather week. But you didn't come here for weather reports, you came here to talk about stitching and needlecraft and all the things that we generally chat about here on my channel, Sew Me Sarah. If you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by. I know lots of you are finding me recently and that's really nice to have new comments and new names in the comments below. So thank you so much. It's also really lovely to have all the older names in the comments below, all the regular names I should say. So I love that most of you keep coming back time after time and helping to create the community that we have here. So thank you so much for being here with me. I hope that you will enjoy what I have to share today. I'm going to start with a little bit of thank you admin. I have some happy mail to share. I've got a little bit of picture clips to share with you from Hillsborough Castle, or from the grounds of Hillsborough Castle. And then of course we'll go into talking about stitching, all the whips, the finishes, the FFOs, the new starts, because you know there are always new starts these days. And then I will share with you some fun things that are going on in the community that you can get connected with, some fun new floss tubes. I've got a longer list of those today. And also then I will share my one special thing before we close. So we've got a packed agenda for this morning and I am so happy to be back with you. It has been 3 weeks. I did explain that it probably would be, but I missed you guys last week. I missed the normal cycle and it did feel wrong to not be chatting with you, and I can sense that it's been too long. So hopefully we won't have to wait quite so long next time, but these things happen. I do have lots to share with you, so I guess I better stop yakking and get on with it. This morning I want to say a huge thank you to all of your comments on the last episode, which were congratulating me and thanking me for 3 years of the channel. So I did have that 3-year milestone since we last chatted, and I'm very happy, as you know, as I explained last time, I'm very happy to be here and continuing to be here. So thank you all so much for your kind words and sentiments. They mean a lot and I really appreciated them. We do have a giveaway winner because we had a 3-year anniversary giveaway, and the prize for that, the giveaway is Save the Bees, and this is a Sue Hillis Designs pattern. And lots of you were interested in this. We had 148 entries, and there's also going to be, of course, the Caterpillar cross stitch needle minder, the Be Kind needle minder, which is safely tucked in here. So lots of you were interested in it. Lots of you were saying you love to stitch bees, or lots of you saying you never have but would love to stitch bees. And some of you, I think, making a note of this pattern to purchase if you're not the winner. So anyway, I am very pleased to tell you that the winner of the pattern and the needle minder is at Virpir, VIRPIR 2453. I know that you are a regular commenter and a regular viewer, and so it's lovely always to know that someone who's been here a long time is picking up the giveaway. So please get in touch with me. You can do that either using the email address down below or by contacting me on a direct message from Instagram. I'm Sew Me Sarah over on Instagram. Contact me, give me your postal address, and I will get this in the post to you as soon as I can get to the post office. Thank you so much for your support, everyone, and congratulations to you for winning. Another little admin point from the last video that I wanted to make some clarification on, and would only be fair to, is that I mentioned that I had received a couple of parcels from a company called Very Crafty. I'd made some orders and both times the orders arrived in not terribly great shape. But I asked you on the last video, was that your experience of this company? And actually many of you said not. So no one else said that it was their experience. So I think I have just gotten unlucky. So in fairness to verycrafty.co.uk, I need to tell you that other people have had really good experiences with them, no problems whatsoever. So possibly just in transferring from England to Northern Ireland, maybe the post has got a little bit rough or whatever, just happens to be on those two occasions. I have to say most of my post, even international post, arrives pretty much unscathed. So it does seem to be just unlucky for that time. But I wanted to be fair to verycrafty.co.uk because other people have had really positive experiences with them, and I didn't want to leave you thinking that my experience was the norm when it's clearly not. So thank you to those of you who shared that with me, because I would now be encouraged to go back and try again with them. So thank you for letting me know that. What else have I got? Oh yes, I know. I have to tell you a happy tale. If you recall, on the last episode, I was sharing with you my restart of the peacock tree, my modern folk embroidery start. And I was unhappy with my initial start, mainly because the colour just wasn't what I had in my head. It didn't translate onto the fabric as I thought that it would. So I restarted it and I was much happier with my second start. So actually 2 viewers reached out to me and said, would you consider passing that on, the original start that I was just kind of abandoning? So 2 viewers contacted me and said, would I consider passing it on? And I thought, yeah, absolutely I would. So it was a first come, first served, and the lovely Kathy in the US has now happily adopted my peacock tree, and she is going to finish that off herself. So thank you very much for asking, folks. I don't know why it didn't occur to me to ask if anyone would like to finish the stitch, but it makes me happy to know that it isn't just gonna lie in a heap somewhere. So thank you for adopting Kathy, and thank you to Kathleen, who also asked if she could have it if Kathy didn't want it in the end. So thank you. That's really nice to know that my stitch made its way all the way across the Atlantic and is now in a happy home where it's going to be finished and loved. So thank you, ladies. One of the requests that a few of you have made on the last couple of videos is if I would share again some pictures of the area where we live, so that you can see what there is to see here. So I have shared some pictures in the past. One of the reasons that I haven't shared many lately is because I go back to those same places, so there's not a lot new to share with you. And the other reason is that we don't actually often get to places. So but I did promise that I would try, and so this week hubby and I were both off on Friday, and we have a membership to the historical royal palaces, which allows us membership of the entrance into the castle grounds up at Hillsborough. So Hillsborough is a village 4 miles from where I live, and I've shared before with you, I've shared my morning walks in Hillsborough. I do wish I still did those, but now I have to go out to the office to work, so it's a bit different. But on those morning walks, I passed by the gates of the castle, and I had showed you that, a glimpse of that. But now we have an annual membership of the castle, and we can go into the grounds pretty much, anytime it's open. So we went on Friday morning, and we had a little walk, and we went to the coffee shop in the grounds, and then we took a little walk back up. And while I was walking, I took lots of photos to share with you. So Hillsborough Castle is not a palace as you might imagine it, but it's a very stately home. And this is the official residence of the monarch when the monarch visits, or the royal family visit, Northern Ireland. It is now, as I said, part of the historical royal palaces, historic royal palaces, and is open to the public on a more regular basis. Years ago it wouldn't have been open at all. That was due to security situation in Northern Ireland, and then after a while it opened only on special days of the year. So there might have been one weekend we had what were called European Heritage Open Days, and some buildings that were not normally open would open to the public, and that was a weekend late in September. Sorry, I keep shaking the table. So it is open now on a more regular basis, you know, pretty much all of the time. And you can come and you can visit for the day, and it's got beautiful facilities, and you can tour the castle, and you can walk in the grounds. So we were just walking in the grounds, so I don't have indoor pictures. I'm not sure that you'd be allowed to photograph indoors anyway, but I have these lovely pictures to share with you. So as I've been talking, hopefully you've been seeing the pictures. The gardens there are part formal gardens and part naturalized gardens. So a lot closer to the house you have like formal gardens and a formal structure and nice manicured lawns where they would hold garden parties and such. Further away it becomes a little more kind of like a woodland, and you'll have very naturalized areas where, you know, you might think that it's not being tended, but actually it's just being allowed to be wild. There's a lovely there's a lake on one side which we didn't go by this time, but another time I'll try and take some pictures there. And then at the very back of the grounds there is a walled garden which is currently used as a vegetable garden. There's a little bit of ornamental planting, and there's also a wilded area. So the buttercups are knee high, and I could see little wrens and bumblebees and things flying in and out of there. So that was nice to see. So there are often tour groups that stop. So there was obviously an American tour group that had stopped on Friday morning. I was wearing this shirt which says Michigan on it, and I had a few comments from the folks who were walking by about my shirt. Anyway, I hope that they really enjoyed their morning. It was a very nice morning on Friday morning. So unfortunately, maybe, I'm not sure if you can tell in the photographs, but a lot of the flowering plants have been decimated actually by rain. So they've kind of rotted, the flowers have rotted in the wet. It's been so wet this last couple of weeks. The purple rhododendrons, which I took photos of especially for my viewer who loves rhododendrons, the purple rhododendrons looked magnificent, but the white rhododendrons for some reason just all completely rotted. Well, not for some reason, they completely rotted in the rain, but I'm not sure why the purple ones seem much hardier, and it didn't seem to affect them so much. So anyway, that is really all I have to share. It's just a very lovely, peaceful walk, beautiful grounds and gardens, very friendly staff in the gardens. Everyone was working very hard to keep things nice and tidy, but they're all very friendly. So if you did happen to be in Northern Ireland and were passing by Hillsborough, you could stop off and have a lovely morning and a nice lunch and visit the castle, and maybe even go visit the village again afterwards. So there you go. That is my little bit of home for you. Okay, happy mail. I have received some very lovely happy mail in the last couple of weeks. So first of all, I got a surprise email from a designer who sent me a PDF and said it was a gift from a viewer. So this is from the lovely Rebecca, who has been with me for a long time, comments all the time. I love to have a little back and forth commenting chat with her. So Rebecca saw this chart, thought of me, bought it and sent it as a gift for my 50th birthday. So I'm going to flash the chart very quickly because there's no cover photo, but I want you to see this little chart and how perfect it is for me. So this was really, really thoughtful. It is a teacup umbrella, or an umbrella tea. Yeah, it is an umbrella teacup. So it's a teacup in the shape of an umbrella. I'll get there eventually. Here you go. Look, isn't that lovely? So Rebecca, thank you so much. I was tickled pink with this. I thought it was just perfect for me. There are little steamy raindrops falling down into the umbrella shaped teacup, and I am going to have fun probably changing the colours of this and stitching it up probably next year. But I will be 50 then, and I will enjoy that as part of my big year of being 50. So thank you so much, Rebecca. That was so thoughtful and a very nice surprise. The other surprise that I had was sent to me from Rachel, Stitchy Rich. She won the giveaway for the Serenity pattern by Teresa Kogut a few videos back, and she sent a thank you, which was totally unnecessary, but I'm so glad she did because it's lovely. So Rachel, thank you so much for these. Rachel sent me some counting pins that she made, and as usual I am no good at organizing these things in my hand, so here we go. I should edit that out, but I think I'll just leave it in and let you have a laugh. If I do this, is that better? Okay, Rachel, sorry I'm making a mess of this video for you, but these are the gorgeous pins that Rachel made for me. And she made them so that I will be able to use them on the Twin Bird pincushion. So they are the exact colours. And when I finish this eventually, I will be able to pop the pins in there. And what a lovely, lovely piece this is going to be with all of the connections. This was the first start for our year of 50 new starts. Sally, Flossie Sews and Grows and I. We are doing the Fun for 50 SAL 2024, 50 new starts this year. This was our first start. We were together at Stitch in London when we got this chart, and Rachel was there with us too. Rachel started it along with a number of others of you. So we have all those connections, and it's part of the 50-year SAL, and now Rachel has also sent me the pins to put in it. So Rachel, thank you so, so very much. This was unnecessary, but it is extremely welcome. Thank you, thank you. And my last little bit of stitchy kindness is a gift from my friend. My friend is not a cross stitcher, she is one of my quilty friends. She was a friend first, we also quilt together. And this is from Stephanie, my friend, and she was in Bratislava visiting her son's girlfriend's family recently. And in Bratislava, she was in a little shop which had some Bratislava needlework, and she bought me this. It's beautifully framed. It is a little bit of cross stitch and other specialty stitches. Specialty stitches is what we say. And it's beautifully framed, really, really beautifully framed. So I am looking forward to putting that up with my other little stitchy bits and pieces. So thank you very much, Stephanie, and thank you. It's really nice to have something from somewhere else as well. So didn't I do nicely out of Happy Mail this last few weeks? Now let's move on to the stitching. I have 2 fully finished pieces to share with you, and I'm so proud of myself. So I thought I'd better get a move on with some of these things, and I was out shopping and was able to pick up the frames that were necessary. So the first one is the finish of Pride and Prejudice. This was one of my starts this year for my 50 starts, so I'm very happy to have it fully finished now, and I just love it. I really do love it. It's just a nice little vintage looking frame. I've used this frame before in different sizes. This was the frame that I used for the Christmas Kiss, or is it called Christmas Kiss? The little girl kissing the snowman. Anyway, the Dimensions kit. So it's the same frame, but obviously a different size. I liked it so much and I thought it went really well. I had this one in my stash actually. I have a stash of finishing things that I didn't realise had gotten so big. Finishing supplies. And I really need to do something with them. I obviously bought them with an idea in mind, put them away, have never done them, and now I've got like a shelf in a cupboard full of supplies that really I should do something with. So I went through that and I found a frame that worked well with this stitch and laced it, framed it, and I'm so happy. So I'm also happy that now I've shown it to you, I can put it on my bookcase. So that is Pride and Prejudice. And that is a an Emma Congdon design from Stitcherovia on Etsy. The other project that I framed is Positivity Rules. Sorry for the reflections that you're able to see there, but hopefully you can see enough. So yes, this is Positivity Rules. This is for Emma, who is graduating this year as a teacher. And I'm hoping that one day she will have a classroom of her own to be able to put this in. And I love it. I love the simplicity of the white frame. I just picked up this frame at the range. It's a box frame. It had a mount, but I took the mount out. It wasn't necessary. And it's a perfect size. So I love this piece. I love it. It's colourful, it's happy, it's positive, just like it's supposed to be. And it's finished and ready for gifting at the beginning of July when she graduates. So those are my two fully finished pieces. And now we're going to move into whips. I do have a start and finish, but it's part of the Fund for 50 SAL starts. And I'm going to show that to you when I talk about all of those. So we'll just move on into the whips that I have. So last time I was sharing with you the advent calendar that I had finished. So you'll be glad you're not seeing it this time. I don't have withdrawal symptoms. But that, the advent calendar, the Oh Holy Night advent calendar had been my daily stitch, my daily thread stitch. So there was a vacancy in the daily thread stitch. So what I chose to fill that vacancy is Rejoice Evermore by Brenda Gervais. It's with thy needle and thread. I'm never sure about, does she design some things under the With Thy Needle and Thread brand and some things just in her own name? Because they don't all her patterns don't seem to have this. Anyway, you know who I'm talking about, so it's not really a big issue. So Rejoice Evermore was a stitch that I started with my lovely friend Joanita at Joanita Stitchy Things on Flosstube. And it was a SAL. We started it last year on Valentine's Day, and she managed to finish it and I never have. So I thought that if I move it up into the daily thread, I might be able to make some better progress on it, especially now that I'm quite busy with the 50 starts and some of the SALs that I'm doing. So I'm not getting to put it into my rotation as often as I would like, which isn't making progress on it. But I thought if I bring it over into the daily stitch, then there's a possibility it'll at least see a little bit of progress. I would love, love, love to have this finished sometime in the autumn, but we'll see, we'll see. Anyway, last time I shared this with you, there was a bit of a sob story. Last time I shared it, I had discovered an error up here in fact it was up here in the border. I had miscounted one of these little horizontal lines, which meant that the tips of these little fruits here were sitting one stitch too close, which threw the whole bottom corner out and was just awful. It was just awful. So I had to unpick. I had already done right down to here. I was trying to turn the corner with it and realized it wouldn't work. So I had to unpick all of this all the way up to here. And this is one thread over two, stitched one thread over two. It was quite hard to pick out, I have to tell you. So yeah, I did that because I like to unpick what I can as soon as I see the problem. It helps me to just be able to move on instead of having the unpicking, the frogging to do at a later date. But then I just got busy and I never got around to picking it, you know, picking it up and restitching it. So that's what I have been doing with my daily thread. And I don't get terribly far with the daily thread each day, but as I said before, you know, that little bit of consistency day after day after day does help. So I have managed to fix everything that was wrong and come across the bottom a little bit and do some of this alphabet. So I absolutely adore this stitch. It has been ironed, but I clearly need to put in a little bit more effort. I don't want to over iron it since I'm going to be hopefully be sharing it with you every video now for a while, since it's the daily thread. But that is what I decided to do, was to pick this one up again, make it my daily thread piece and see if I can't reinvigorate it really and get it moving. So that is Rejoice Evermore. I then did a little bit more work on the Prim Alphabet Sampler by Frog Cottage Designs. Gorgeous design from Deb at Frog Cottage. And this was one of the starts that I've had this year. I finished the alphabets and I did these little side floral vines, finished the hearts, and I worked along the bottom border. So this border now just continues all the way around and then the piece is finished. So I'll just pick this out from time to time. I think it would be good zoom stitching, for example, because once I can, you know, it's a very simple checkerboard, three rows of checkerboard, and I love this. I want to say thank you to Deb for this gorgeous pattern. I absolutely love it. And this is the stitch that I'm doing. It's by an Australian designer, Frog Cottage Designs. It's on Australian hand-dyed fabric from Fox and Rabbit, and it's using cottage garden threads. The red and this colour here, this Melting Moments colour, are from Cottage Garden Threads, which are Australian thread dyed, from Australian thread dyers, I should say. And those were the prompts from Apache Pony Stitcher. So I love it. I love it. And I'm so happy that I made a little bit of progress on that. As I said, I hope to pick it up, you know, at times when I've got Zooms or such, so that I can finish it. Next progress is on the Enchanted Realms SAL, which is from Caterpillar Cross Stitch. Part 5 released last week, I think. Early last week, or the week before. Anyway, since I saw you last, part 5 released. I haven't quite finished part 5. It's this part over here. The wizard, his trunk and stack of books, some of these trees, and this is the start of a phoenix. And the phoenix is kind of on the foreground of clouds and a sunburst. So it's beautiful. The phoenix, I think, is probably my favourite part of this design so far. And I did try to finish it before I had to come and share it with you, but it just wasn't happening. I just didn't have the stamina for it last night. So part 5 is almost finished, and then that leaves just one more part, obviously, to fill in here, which will be released in a couple of weeks' time. And that will finish this SAL, I think. I don't know what the next part is, but let me show you here. Is it going to focus? I'm trying to focus something that is deliberately blurred out, so I'm not sure how that's working. But anyway, in here, let me see if I can share with you. In here, there's a little motif that I haven't stitched yet, so that's obviously part of the last part. Oh, there's maybe one over here. Anyway, this thing, okay, and to me, that looks like a gnome. But it is guesswork, so I'm not sure. So I wonder if there are elves or gnomes or something in the last part of the SAL. So I think this one will be fun. I will probably frame it in a hoop when it's done and put it somewhere for Charlotte to enjoy. So anyway, part 5 is almost done, and part 6 will finish that up in another, I think maybe another 3 weeks time that will release. Okay, that's it for WIP. So now I have some starts to share with you. And these are, 2 of them are SALs. Well, in fact, both of them are SALs. And then I have another start, but I'm going to share that with you at the very end of the video as my one special thing. So these 2 starts are both SALs, new SALs, one from Caterpillar Cross Stitch and one from the Historical Sampler Company. Now, the eagle-eyed and the keen-eared among you will have already spotted that there are some new starts this year that I haven't counted in my 50 starts. So I wasn't sure how to explain this, but but essentially these are starts that I hadn't really planned on. So I didn't know at the beginning of the year, the end of last year, when I planned out my starts, that there were some things that would come along, and like the SALs, for example. Okay, and the first couple of SALs that came along I had space for, and I put them in and I counted them. The next ones would mean I have to bump things off my list of SALs. So in order to do this SAL and just make it part of the 50, counting for 50, I would have to bump something else. And really, I've bumped a lot. I've bumped a lot because other shiny things have come along or something else has happened and I've wanted to do something else. And right now, I don't want to bump anything more off the list. So I've just decided to take it on the chin, and these will be extra starts. So a couple of them are SALs, a couple of them are gift stitches. So for example, when I stitched the little gift for Ros's birthday, I didn't count that in my starts for the year. And I have another gift start that I didn't count in either. So some things are getting counted and some things aren't. I mean, the majority are getting counted. There's not going to be huge numbers here, folks. And it really is just because I don't want to bump other things, really fun things that I have plans, things I've really set my heart on stitching. And I didn't want to bump them off my 50 starts list. If we get to December and I'm only at 42 on my count, then I will be reminding you that I started these things and adding them in to fill up the blank spaces. But I'm hoping that it won't come to that and we won't need to count these necessarily. So if you've noticed that, and you'll notice that these next 2 SALs they're new starts, but I haven't counted them in the 50 starts, then that's why. And that's probably more than you ever wanted to know, but I know that some of you have noticed that this is happening. Anyway, the first SAL is from Historical Sampler Company, and it's called Do More of What Makes You Happy. The first part released and I stitched it. The second part released this week, but I haven't got to it yet. So I am, a few days behind. But this is Do More of What Makes You Happy. And it's beautiful. Now, again, I have my threads because they release their SAL and they literally quarter their chart. So this M isn't finished, for example. So I've just brought my threads to the side and then I can pick those up for part 2. Is it easier to see with that behind it? The other thing I haven't done is I haven't done the back stitching. This is an Emma Congdon design. She has collaborated with Historical Sampler Company on this gorgeous pattern. And I haven't done the back stitch of this, and you know that Emma's designs quite often have a lot of back stitch alongside the text and font. So I didn't do the back stitch because some of it runs on and I waited basically. So I will probably, once I do part 2, I will probably start the back stitch at the top, because I can work down and finish as I go along. I'm sorry, this is actually quite wide to hold. So that is part 1 minus its back stitch, and part 2 is ready and waiting for me. So I love stitching all those letters, and as you know, I love the font. This up here will be a ball of yarn, so it's got a lot of back stitching on, which would make that obvious as to what that is going to be. And I think the corresponding one on the other side is a cross stitch hoop. So looking forward to getting to that, maybe this week, I hope. The next SAL is from Caterpillar Cross Stitch again, and this is their North American Adventure SAL. Please excuse me, I am going to have to do some shuffling of boards because I don't have enough boards to show you all the pieces. So this is the North American Adventure SAL. Part 1 came out since I last saw you, and we've started our journey around North America. This is fun. So what have we got? We've got Mount Rushmore and Route 66 and Elvis. We have the Liberty Bell. We have the Statue of Liberty. We have Diamond Mine. We have NASA. We also have food to sustain us on our journey. We have a hot dog, pizza, peanuts, and a beignet. And we've got barbecue. And we've got our yellow cab in New York. And we've got sea turtles off the coast and some lovely little waves down at the bottom. I think I've covered all those elements. So that is part 1 release of the North American Adventure SAL. There's still plenty of time to sign up for this. I believe that my discount code still works. So I'll put that across the bottom of the screen for you if you're interested. The discount code is valid. 10% discount off a full kit. So I believe it still works. I hope so for you. But it's fun, and there's plenty of time for you to catch up on this one. So that is North American Adventure. And those are all of my whips and starts, as I said, except for the one start, which I'm going to share with you at the end. And the starts that are part of the Fun for 50 SAL 2024. This is a SAL that I'm doing with my lovely friend Sally at FlossySewsandGrows. She's here on YouTube and on Instagram if you'd like to follow her if you aren't doing so already. Sally and I are both turning 50 this year, and we decided that we would do a joint fun project of starting 50 new things this year. And we're both enjoying it immensely, and we're having fun with our projects, fun with sharing with you. We invited you to join us. We invited you to submit some prompts for us to work towards, and we have just been enjoying having you stitch along with us. We invite you to stitch along with us, whether it's one of our start projects or not. Just stitch along with us for the celebration of our 50th year and for the celebration of friendships that are made through Flosstubes. Now, Sally and I aren't stitching exactly the same things each time for every start. We have approximately one start a month that is the same, and then the rest of our starts are just ones that we choose for ourselves. So I have to say that I think we've been really sensible about how we approach that so that we aren't tied to each other's choices, and it has worked really nicely, but it also allows us to stay together and have that little touch of commonality, where we do stitch, you know, an occasional thing together. I love that. So thank you so much, Sally, for being so sensible about it. Okay, start number 22 was Le Petit Chaperon Rouge from Jardin Privé, and this is Little Red Riding Hood, which is what Le Petit Chaperon Rouge translates to. and I love it. It's Little Red Riding Hood in a snow globe with a big bad wolf on the top. What's not to love? And here is my start. This is one that I've been itching to pick up again. But you know, you've got 50 starts, you can't pick everything up again. But as you can see, I put in the baseline, and I've started with the trees and the little grandma's cottage. And I was so desperate, so desperate to get some of Little Red Riding Hood herself stitched that I abandoned my trees and went straight to her boots and worked up. So obviously I need to fill in her basket here. There's a lot, I mean, there's a lot of stitching still to come, but I'm really happy with this start. As I've said before, I mostly try to start on a Monday night, and I make Monday night and Tuesday night my start stitching, so that each piece that I start gets 2 full nights of stitching, which allows it to look like a decent kind of start. So I'm really happy with this piece, and as I said, I can't wait to get back to it, but it will probably be quite some time now. But essentially when I do get back to it, it will have a really lovely basis for working from. So that is the Jardin Privé. And the prompts that this one fulfilled, prompt number 12 was from Kathleen at Kathleen's Trodden Trails and Rosa Moulton, and both of them suggested that Sally and I use the letters of our names for starts. So we each, luckily I think, have 5 letters in our names, and so I would then have a start for S, A, R, A and H. So this is my 3rd start in that process. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble with words today. This is my 3rd start in this in the process. So this is my R for rouge, for red riding hood and rouge. So so that's that prompt. Number 78, it was to stitch a project inspired by a story. That was a prompt from Neuf Gazi. So yes, Little Red Riding Hood is the story. And prompt number 82 was from Karen Christmas, and that was to stitch something with a colour in the name of the pattern. So rouge is in there. So this one was good for the prompts, and I enjoyed stitching it and meeting those prompts as well. My next start, number 22, excuse me for reaching. Number 22 is a start and finish. And this is Mildred's Strawberry. I don't know, I'm going to be able to show you without... yeah, I need to put something white behind it, so let me swap out a board again. This is Mildred's Strawberry, and this is a start that Sally and I were doing together. This was a shared start. And this is from In Friendship's Way by Blackbird Designs. This is the strawberry here, the original. So you can see the colours are quite different from what I went with in the end. What way is this to share? Okay. I'm saying nothing. Right, okay. You can see the colours are quite different from what I chose in the end. So I wanted to make it more pink. I chose some pinks. If I could go back and do it again, I would change the outline colour of this butterfly. I chose a sort of a lovely mocha colour, but it really dulls everything down. And that was kind of what I was trying to avoid, but I didn't really see it until it was done, if you know what I mean, and I'm not unpicking it. So I'm happy enough. I would have liked it. The mocha dulled the pink, and the pink is not that dull. So yeah, probably having trouble showing you that. Anyway, I put my initials in, S and E in there, and up above, on the original there's a year, so there are 2 numbers on either side here for a year, and instead of that I decided to stitch 50 in some gold metallic thread, and And that's it, really. That's it. So that is the strawberry. It was a very small piece to stitch, which was really nice because it stitched up very nicely in the 2 nights. I was able to start and finish it in the same week. This meets several prompts as well. This meets prompt 18 from Jane Copeland, and Jane said, well, it sort of meets this prompt, but Jane said, start a pattern with the numbers 5 and 0 on it. So the pattern itself didn't truly have the numbers 5 and 0 on it, but it did have all the numbers provided. And instead of putting the year in, I just thought I would stitch the 50 in commemoration of my big year. So thank you for that prompt, Jane. Mad Grandma said, that was prompt number 73, and Mad Grandma said to stitch something using gold thread for 50. You know, like the golden anniversary is for 50. So she said to stitch something with a gold thread. So I did. I used one of the DMC metallic threads. They're not much fun, but it looks okay. And I'm glad to do that. So thank you for that suggestion too. And the other prompt that it fulfills is one from Ros Clarke. And Ros suggested that we stitch something with less than 500 stitches in it. Now, that is harder than you would think. I have counted and counted and counted many of the small charts that I plan to stitch this year, and even the tiniest of those were all quite well over 500 stitches. I never realized that 500 stitches isn't a lot. But this one, when Sally and I decided to do this one together, I thought, oh, I wonder. And I counted it and it was under 500 stitches. So I'm ticking that one off, Ros. It was actually much more of a challenge than I realized to stitch something with less than 500 stitches in it. So there you go. That is the Mildred's Strawberry from In Friendship's Way by Blackbird Designs. And then start number 24, which is my last one so far, is Tiny Modernist, the Bee Queen. Another beauty, really, really beautiful. Andrew, the running stitcher, has started this with me, and I'm very happy to see his progress because I now have to leave her and not stitch anymore on her for a little while. So I'll be watching Andrew's progress and weeping into my own tissue. But here she is, and you'll see why I want to keep going with her, because look how beautiful she is. Oh, she's so lovely. You know, while I was stitching this, I was thinking there's been a lot of Mirabilia shown on Flosstube the last couple of weeks because of Mira May, and there's been a lot of Mira this year actually. And from time to time, I think, I wonder if I should stitch a Mira. I don't know. Part of me would love to do it, but ultimately, I acknowledge that they're not really my thing. They're not really what I want to put up around the house or make into a project bag. Oh, you would never make a mirror into a project bag, but you know what I mean. I don't know how I would use a mirror is what I'm saying. It's not really my style, but I always think, oh, I should have a fancy lady. But when I was starting the Bee Queen, I thought, I think these are my fancy ladies really. So I think this is much more my style. And I have the Bee Queen, I have one of her others, I have a couple of little Jardin Privé ladies. The other little ladies that I would love to stitch are Barbara Anna, the seasons, the ladies with the seasons in their dresses. Oh, I have to tell you something about that. Complete aside, and I'm sorry for getting distracted, but on Instagram this week, if you didn't see it, on Instagram this week, Barbara Anna Designs Instagram page announced the release of one of her tree patterns, which has only previously been available through Nitka Moscow as a kit. And as you know, with the whole Russia-Ukraine thing, we're not able to get the Nitka Moscow kits anymore. Many of us wouldn't want to for whatever reasons anyway. But but Barbara Anna has announced that she has released this one tree that was previously only available through Nitka Moscow. And it is available on her Ko-Fi shop, on Barbara Anna's Ko-Fi shop. If you're interested, you will find that from her Instagram. In her profile, there's a link tree and there's a link in there to her Ko-Fi shop. Now, in the course of the conversation, the thread beneath, beneath that announcement, it does seem that many of the charts that were previously available only through Nitka Moscow as a kit are going to be released. So someone did mention the 4 girls with the seasons in their dresses. Someone mentioned that, and someone also mentioned the tea and coffee girls. And there were others, but those are the ones that were interesting to me. And so I think they're coming. It does sound, from Barbara Anna's response, it does sound like they will come to the Ko-Fi shop. So if that interests you, if you've been, pining because you haven't been able to get one of the Nitka Moscow kits, keep an eye out on the Barbara Anna Ko-Fi shop to see what's coming, because it sounds like those exclusives have maybe run their time, and she's going to be able to release them herself under her own shop. So that is exciting. Anyway, back to what I was trying to say. All those types of girls are, I think, my preference for fancy ladies. So she's fancy to me, and I absolutely love her. And I know that more than Amira, this will, this one fits me. This one is a fit for me and my stitching. I'm not saying never to Amira. I do keep looking, and I keep looking wistfully, like, oh, I wish there was one I really wanted you to do. There was one that I kind of liked, but she was out of print. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is I love this. I love this style. This is more me. And yeah, absolutely loved starting the Bee Queen. Now the prompts for this one, there's one prompt that I'm using for this one, and it came from Joanne Neufeld. And Joanne is a friend that I have been in touch with, and she lives in Canada, and she suggested that we stitch something from a Canadian designer using at least one Roxy floss. So this is a chart by Tiny Modernist. Cheryl McKinnon is Canadian, I believe. And I am going to use Roxy floss on this. Now I haven't actually got to that part yet where I'm going to use the Roxy floss. The design is charted in DMC, so I have substituted one of the flosses for this Roxy floss called Sunshine, and it's the floss in the center of the dress. This part here, the background of this. So it's actually pretty close in shade terms to the called for. It's closer than I thought it might be, which is good, but it is Roxy floss. So I am going to meet your prompt that way. I just haven't got to the color yet, Joanne, but there you go. There is my Bee Queen start. Number 24. That means that tomorrow will be start number 25, and I'll be halfway there, guys. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's like, yay, number 25, and it's going to be the Bluebird Sampler by Heart in Hand. So I do have a schedule for June. I'll post it here so that you can see it again. If you're interested in seeing those projects, I did do a little run through of them on the last episode, so you could go back and have a little look there. I'm not going to repeat that now, but tomorrow's start will be the halfway point, and that's really exciting. Okay, that is almost all of my stitching. I do have one more to show you at the end here. First of all, I want to share with you a little bit about Get Connected. So this is where I try to share something that I think might interest you, might help you to connect in some way in the community, in a way that you might like to. So this is something that is absolutely wonderful. This is on Instagram. So if you're not on Instagram, I think it would really be worth going on there. There's quite an active cross-stitch community on Instagram. You don't have to put personal things on Instagram. You can just keep it to your stitching. You never need to show your face. You don't have to be totally public. You can create a stitchy name for yourself. You don't have to give your real name. So I know some people don't want to be that public, but there are ways to do it where you're not giving away any of your personal information basically. So I would recommend being on Instagram. And if you are on Instagram, which I know many of you are, there is a new channel, a new, what do we call it on Instagram? Account, a new Instagram account. And this account is being hosted by Erin and Amity from the Hathaway Stitchers, and Alex, who is an Instagrammer called Salix something or other. I'm sorry, I've forgotten Alex. But she is Alex, and she is always involved in SALs, and she's a beautiful stitcher. So the three of them have come together and they have created an Instagram account called Cross Stitch Salander. I'll put it down here below because I think there's underscores in it at places as well. So they have created the Cross Stitch Salander, which is essentially for us like a calendar of all the SALs that are happening, or as many of the SALs as they know about. And let me tell you, there are many. So if you follow that account, you will see when they repost something new, a new SAL. And if you are running a SAL, you could get in touch with them and let them know, and they would be able to pop your SAL onto their site. So you can go, you can look, you can see there's a SAL for a Blackbird design, there's a SAL for the latest release from someone else, there's SALs for all kinds of things. There is such a breadth of SALs out there. We love our SALs, us stitchers and floss tubers. So it's really a wonderful resource to help you find what stitch-alongs are going on, and I would certainly keep an eye on that all of the time. I think that it is going to be so much fun to see what's going on. Probably dangerous too, because we'll want to join in with everything, but I think it's an absolutely brilliant idea. So thank you to Erin and Amity and to Alex for doing that for us and for the community. And I'll pop all of that information, I'll pop the links for the Instagram page down below as well. So if you want to come back and find that, you'll be able to look in the notes rather than having to watch the whole way through the video to do that. Another way, obviously, that we can connect is to watch other floss tubers and to comment and engage with them. And this week, or the last couple of weeks, I've come across quite a number of new floss tubers, and I wanted to share them with you because they each have something to bring to the table, and they're all slightly different, and I think that these ones are definitely worth watching and subscribing to in various ways. So the first one is Claire at Love Poppet has got a channel, and I'll put the channel names of everyone down below. But Claire at Love Poppet, I had shared with you her SAL, and we had a giveaway for her latest Dreaming of Summer SAL. She has joined us on Flosstube, so it's really nice to see her, to put her face and her voice to her name and her company. She wants to have her channel be somewhere where she can talk about her personal stitching. So it's not all about her shop, it's not all about Love Poppet. She does have some things about Love Poppet that she mentions briefly as well, and I like that mix. I like the fact that we get to know Claire as a stitcher and as a person, and as well as a designer. And Claire is learning some things too about the community, and so she's new to Flosstube. She's not been a watcher of Flosstube for a very long time either, so there's lots of new things, and it's really nice to be part of that journey with her, and she's just lovely as well. So go over there and watch and support Claire. Someone else you might like to take a peek at is Tanya. Tanya's channel is called Multiple Lanes Creative Brain. So as it would suggest, she's a multi-crafter. She's got fingers in lots of crafting pies, and I'm interested to see what more we will see. But in her first episode, she was explaining to us that she's new to cross stitch this year. So she's learning. She's starting with stamped kits, but she has swiftly, moving in. And she talks about what she enjoys and why she enjoys it. She also has shown some of her pastel pet art, which is fabulous. Really, if you like pet art, yeah, go watch. And then she does nail art, she does crochet. I am sure there is more to come because Multiple Lanes Creative Brain, I think she's all over it. And I think it's fun to watch that kind of creativity oozing and bubbling out of someone. So Tanya is a Canadian floss tuber. She lives Prince Edward Island, I believe. And it's been fun to watch her. So I'm looking forward to seeing another video when it comes out, if it hasn't already. I didn't check. A little bit closer to home is Sian in Wales, who is calling herself the Periwinkle Stitcher, and her channel has already taken off. She has at least one video. I don't think she has a second one out yet, but we're all eagerly awaiting Sian. Sian is elegant, her stitching is beautiful, she is lovely to watch and listen to, and I can't wait to see more from Sian. She has come to Flosstube looking for community, looking for other stitchers, because in her real life she doesn't have that. But she has been doing retreats, so she does know other stitchers, but I think she's just looking for a more regular connection, and I have no doubt she is going to find that through Flosstube if she keeps up with her videos. So looking forward to more from Sian, and yay to another UK stitcher, a UK floss tuber. Back across the pond to the US, we have Alyrene's Copious Spare Time. So Alyreene is the lady's name. She is a professor in the world of costume design. I'm not sure what her title is, but she works at university. Her subject is costume design. She's a professor. She is very talented and skilled at many needle arts, I think, and she is exploring cross stitch now, and that's what she's bringing her exploration to the table along with her expertise and skills in other areas. I think that it really is going to be one to watch to see how she melds her skills with the cross stitch. I expect that we'll see fantastic things from Alyreene, and she again is a fun watch and someone who's fun to listen to. I also love that her Flosstube name is tongue-in-cheek, because nobody has copious spare time, but we make the most of what we have, and I think that's funny. So go watch Alyreene. Last but definitely not least on this list is a new floss tuber. Her name is Jackie, and I have had the privilege of meeting Jackie on Zoom calls. She has started a new channel and she's called it Comfort Stitching. And watching Jackie's channel is like just lowering yourself into a hot, warm bubble bath and just chilling out. It is absolutely wonderful. So Jackie has a beautiful narrating voice, and she has a lot to say. And she is she is mostly a monogamous stitcher, so she's not stitching lots of things all the time. So she is talking and telling stories about her piece, and you have to see her Consider the Lilies stitch, which is what she's sharing with us on the first episode. She has stitched Consider the Lilies, and it is personalized to her family, and she tells the story of that, and it is absolutely wonderful. She has a very interesting career background. I don't want to share it all here because I want you to go to Jackie's channel and listen to her, and don't fall asleep. And that is not being rude about Jackie, but she has a melodic voice and you could just picture yourself melting away. But she has too many interesting things to say, I should say. for you to fall asleep. So don't be falling asleep. Watch right to the end and enjoy every minute of Jackie's new floss tube. She has hit the world by storm and she has almost 5,000 subscribers already, so don't miss out. Go and join and be part of what Jackie is going to come and share with us. It is going to be wonderful and you're going to treat yourself by doing it. So 5 great floss tubers coming to us now with, you know, their own take on things, and I love the mixture that there is. Okay, the last thing I have to share with you today is my one special thing. But I hear the car pulling up outside, so I think we're about to have a visitor, and I'll see if I can get her to come and chat with you before I share one special thing. So, my special girl is back. She's been out today, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yes. And we thought we would say hello to you, and we'll tell you what Charlotte has been up to.
Hello!
So in recent weeks, Charlotte has started a new club. And what is your club called? Put that down in a minute.
Beavers.
It's called the Eager Beavers, and it is a new Special Olympics club that has started up here close to us. So we were delighted to be able to take Charlotte along. And we're going to insert a little, put that one down a wee second.
Oh.
Just a wee second. We're going to put a video in here and show everybody how you did the lovely obstacle course.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's just a second or two. Folks. Charlotte worked really hard at the obstacle course over and over again a couple of weeks ago at her Eager Beavers meeting. And then this week, in recognition of her hard work, what did you get?
A star point.
You got a what?
Certificate.
A certificate. Would you like to show everybody?
Yeah.
And what is your certificate for?
My name is present here, Charlotte, and not to forget. Don't forget a book about Charlotte's giving you a surprise for me. Just a minute.
Just a minute. Did you hear her? She's going to get you something. I have no idea what she's going to get you. So yes, she started a little Special Olympics club. It's mayhem, but she was working really hard.
That's the only one of my books.
Okay, well let's show that in a minute. We'll just finish talking about this and then you can show that, okay?
Good idea. Let's go.
So this week, because she'd worked really hard at her obstacle course, oh, pardon you, she got Eager Beaver of the Week.
What?
Isn't that cute?
Yes. Okay.
Now, what would you like to share with everybody?
Bad book.
Her book.
Look, guys, I make
I'll hold it for you up here.
Oh,
What is it?
Hey, Doggy!
It's Hey Doggy. And what's the book called?
Fast Patch.
And why have you got this book?
For surprise, because Daddy likes me.
Surprised because Daddy likes me. That's right. Well, Daddy was away, wasn't he? Doing a very big race. And he came back and he gave you the space badge.
Wow!
So Dougie is one of Charlotte's favourite cartoon characters, and she gets the book sometimes as special presents from Daddy, don't you?
Yeah, something new.
Something new, yeah.
Something new.
Okay. Well,
Hi, everybody.
Mommy has. Shh, be quiet now. Would you like to help Mommy show her one special thing? I'm going to show everybody my stitching one special thing. So the one special thing that I have to share with you today is Nicola Parkman's Academy of Needlework. So you can hold it up for me, okay?
Good.
Nicola Parkman from Hands Across the Sea Designs.
There's something new.
Nicola has started a new video series on her Flosstube weekly. You need to be quiet now, okay? So Mommy can tell the people and they can hear me, okay?
Oh, okay.
So Nicola has started a series, a teaching series, where she is teaching the basics of cross stitch and other stitches as well. And this is a brilliant, brilliant series. Okay, it starts on Nicola Parkman's Flosstube channel with episode 369. You hold this up.
Something dude.
Hold it at the top.
Something dude.
And hold it up so everybody can see.
Something dude.
Okay.
Good morning, class. My name is Miss Salad.
Okay, Miss Charlotte.
Okay, let's say bye-bye to everybody first.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Have a nice day, vlog.
Bye. Have a nice day.
Bye, vlog.
Bye, vlog.
No.
We don't say vlog. We say Flosstube.
Goodbye, Flosstube.
That's it. See you again sometime, Charlotte.
Yep, something dude.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, dude. Something dude.
Okay. Away you go.
No, wait, let me see a video of Solid and Mummy.
No, I'm not going to. I'll show it to you later. I've got more to do. Okay.
No, what?
So here you go. You take it back into the living room.
Yeah. Stop! Something dude.
Okay. So I'm not convinced that she's not going to come back. But anyway, I want to share with you one special thing as the last thing on today's episode. So this special thing is Nicola Parkman's Academy of Needlework. She calls it Mrs. Parkman's Academy of Needlework. And she has recently started a series, which is a teaching series. And it's going to take you back to the basics of cross stitch, teaching cross stitch and some other stitches as well. And it is wonderful. So I could see from the comments, and myself included, that people who've been stitching for years are still learning a lot from it. So don't think that that you won't, and it's a really enjoyable watch. So the premise really is Nicola has provided a free chart which you can download from the Hands Across the Sea website. It's a sampler, and she will teach the stitches involved in the sampler, but also some stitches that are related to those. So she's going to teach some stitches that aren't in the sampler, but they're related to stitches that are, if that makes sense. She explains it much better than I do. It starts on her Flosstube episode 369. As I said, there's a free chart that you can download and you can stitch along if you want to. If you just want to watch and listen, that's also fine. So this is the start of mine. I changed the color palette and I'm just working in blues and pinks. And so far we've talked about how to start a cross stitch, how to cross stitch, taking paths in the stitches. There's been, your loop start, pin stitch, which I can now do. Pin stitch did not make any sense to me whatsoever the several times that I've seen it done, but Nicola demonstrates the stitches with good video recordings. It's very clear, you can see exactly what she's doing, and she repeats herself a number of times so that you have time to let that information sink in and try it yourself. So yeah, I have actually successfully mastered is too strong a word for my level of skill right now, but I have successfully managed to make some pin stitches and they're staying in. So in the past when I've tried, they've slipped out, and there were just a couple of things I needed to do differently, and it's working. So so I am blown away that Nicola is doing this for us for free. Of her own good nature and time, she is giving back to the community, and it's wonderful. I'm looking forward to the third video, which I just released this morning, and if I wasn't here recording, that's what I would be doing. But here we go. So you follow the chart. I need to zigzag. This is how quickly I got sucked in so quickly to starting this that I didn't even zigzag the edges of my fabric. So you follow along with the chart, and last week she was doing running stitch and double running stitch. I don't know if you can see those, how close I need to go. I'm not sure how well those are showing up for you, but it's a really, really lovely watch, and I'm sure many of you have come across it already, but I didn't want to not mention it in case some of you haven't, because it's worth doing. I didn't like the colours in the original chart. They were quite primary, and I didn't want to stitch those, so I just changed it, and it was easily done. So that is my one special thing, with a huge thank you to Nicola Parkman. So my plans, I've got a visitor again. My plans are to keep up with the SALs and keep up with the new starts. And I think that's about all, because somebody else will be keeping me nice and busy, won't they? Who keeps me busy?
Dude.
You?
No, dude.
Dude is Charlotte's favourite word at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah. Something dude.
Something dude.
Oh.
Are you the little dude?
Nope. I'm a burp.
No, don't burp on it. Nobody wants to see your burps. Right, I think that we need to...
Pardon me, dude.
Shh, pardon you, dude, yeah. Pardon you indeed. Okay, so those are my plans. If you have plans for the next couple of weeks, please let me know in the comments below what your plans for stitching are, and I'll be happy to read those. So I hope to see you again in 2 weeks' time. Until then, we say stay well and stitch happy.
Stitch well and stitch happy.
Bye.
Bye.